you are never going to be somebody else. You can only be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can use other people as examples, but when it's also the one, there's only one of you and one of me in the world. You don't need
That's
anything else.
Exactly.
Everything you need will come. Every single thing you need will come.
Let's dive into it. Welcome to the Powr Podcast. Super pumped to have you on here today. Mike Schill is in the house, the savage sales guy from Cardone originally. So, my brother, let's dive in. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Where are you at right now? Are you in Miami, New York? I see you're traveling a lot.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're all over. And first things first, just thanks so much for the opportunity to dive on in rather with you today and have this conversation. It's going to be awesome. And for everybody who's listening, make sure you're following my guy, man. Simon's always giving back, pouring into the listeners of the community, and that's what this thing is, man. That's the only way we can all grow. So, but yeah, man, I'm here in sunny Miami, Florida, right? It's about 10 o'clock, or I don't even know, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here, man, and that's where we're stationed. I am doing a lot of traveling, but man, I'll tell you what. For those who don't know, in the United States, if there's a city to be in right now, I would say it would be Miami. We got a lot of migration. We got a lot of people coming this way. A lot of people from up north, big time power players. Taxes aren't too bad over here too, right? And it's ideal, man. But over here in Miami, Florida, currently, man, it's awesome.
Yeah. Love it, bro. So where are you from originally? Where did you grow up? Did you grow up somewhere else or?
Yeah. So I was actually born in Georgia, right? Born in Georgia. Moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was there for, man, about 10, 12 or so years. Then we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee, right? Then we moved to Melbourne, Florida, went to high school in Melbourne, Florida. For those of you that know where Melbourne is, that's in Central Florida. And then, man, college at Florida State University, and went out of the country for a little bit of time in Dominican Republic and Brazil, and then came back, and now we're in sunny Miami. Brother.
Well traveled all the way from childhood. I love it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, man, even talk to that, because I'm originally from Denmark, and I moved to Melbourne, Australia, 7 years ago. When I was 22. So I do know, like, I'm moving to the States. I was actually supposed to move to Miami. I went there in July. Didn't really find my thing. Maybe LA. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to the States. So I do know travel and getting around, not just from an exploring and seeing new things, but really just from an expansion of what is possible and not being stuck with these society, environment, limiting belief we're having if we're staying in one place. So talk to me about that. You obviously traveled a lot. How has that helped you?
Listen, it's done wonders in the sense of being able to understand different demographics of people. And when you're in the mix and you're younger, you don't really realize what you're being exposed to is directly relatable to later on portion of your life. I've had the opportunity to be in a multitude of different places across the United States of America. Attended schooling from inner city schools where you got 2 metal detectors before you go into campus to some of the most elite private schools. The United States has to offer. I've been and respectively in those different types of demographics, different states. And again, what that does is that just allows you to understand the game, allows you to communicate with so many different types of people, allows you to relate to so many different backgrounds. And I think that in business, if you cannot do that, you're shutting yourself off from a good portion of the world. Everybody has a story. Everybody comes from somewhere. And it's important to realize that no one is identical to you. So if you're only used to people that are exactly like you, well, then you're about to have a rude awakening as it relates to business and as it relates to later on in life. So that moving thing, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was difficult at the time, but man, it was just your back's against the wall, figure it out. And hey, a new set of friends, now a new set of friends, now a new set of friends, now a new set of friends. And now it's like, hey, now a new client, now a new customer, now a new client, now a new customer, but you can relate That's everything, man. That's everything. I'm thankful for that. A lot of people look at that as a negative, but I look at that as a double positive, to be honest with you.
For sure. Like, and I think, especially in today's day and age, everybody wants to freaking leave, travel, start their own businesses and these sort of things, yet probably 95% of people never really get to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's the first step. So, you're moving around, you're starting your own business and these sort of things right now. Obviously, you've done it for years right now. So you developed the muscle within yourself, but try to go back and then speak to that guy that maybe want to start his own, that want to travel, that want to do something different. He's in a relationship he doesn't want to be in. What does he need to do to freaking just get over the fear and take the leap?
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm blessed to be in some environments that have taught me some pretty big things. And I would say this. For that individual that's at that state, that wants to make that jump, that wants to make that leap, that wants to go to that next level or do something completely different, I would say get out of your head as it relates to the procrastination and just do. The rest will come and you will figure it out. But if you're stuck and worried about the what ifs and if this happens, then what? You're never going to actually take the leap to experience the possibility. Man, I'm looking back on college, man. I'm looking back on college and having the opportunity to play football at Florida State University. That is top tier Division I football, and I never played football until it was in college in front of like 90,000 people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, listen, if I didn't take on that opportunity and didn't do that, then man, all these networks and all these things that are coming now because of sports, these relationships, they wouldn't have happened if I was just sitting there and thinking, man, I'm going to get boxed on TV or I'm going to get hit really hard. Well, then, I mean, you will probably, but you're only looking at the negative. The positive is so much more. So, man, do it. Do it. There's so much time, but operate like there isn't time. Operate like there isn't time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say to that person.
Yeah, man. I totally relate with that. Like, just quickly to share, like, for a big portion of my teenage years, I was doing drugs. I was a football player as a kid. Freaking had the confidence, was winning, and then lost everything for a good 6 years of my life to drugs. Ruining my self-esteem, like everything around just doing the wrong things. And I would actually say to the people, because I even play that today, I remember I was sitting down, first time I reached out for help, I was probably around 18, 19. And I sat down with that guy then, he told me in the second session, he said, Simon, every time you're doing drugs, every time you're not doing what you're supposed to, every time you're letting yourself down, you're banging yourself 2 steps backwards. Hitting the snooze alarm in the morning, not getting up and doing your thing, it's a little like a quitting. You know what I mean? So personally for me today, I've just built such a strong muscle to say yes to the small things every day, because it's almost like that fear of, like as you said, like losing out, missing out, what would it be like, and going back to that person I was. So I really, for me personally now, I pick it up in these small situations, like, do I want to go to the gym right now? Not really, I'm freaking tired, but I do it anyway, because what's the self-talk I will have in an hour from now not doing it? You know what I mean?
Man, and that momentum. I mean, listen, we're talking about momentum here, and momentum could be positive or momentum could be lack thereof. It could be negative. And as far as it relates to business and just in life, you gotta have momentum. And you just hit it on the head, man. I mean, we're talking about the gym. I mean, we're talking about a thing that should be so easy to do, but yet, it's crazy. The things that are the easiest to do are also the hardest to do.
So simple.
And it's like, but you do it, and then, okay, well, I did that. Now I got to make these calls. Okay, I went to the gym. Now I made these calls. Now I got to eat healthier. Okay, I went to the gym. Now I made these calls. Now I'm going to be healthy. Now let me go market it and advertise. And you start just stacking. You start stacking chips. That's the game, man. That's the game. you know?
So bro, talk to me about like being an athlete and sport and these sort of things, like from a standpoint of what did that teach you to become the guy you are today, to moving in entrepreneurship, you know, working for Cardone, the whole shit there. What did sport and being a football player teach you that people can maybe take away from that?
Yeah, well, there's two big things that come to mind when you ask that question. And the first thing is of course the discipline that was necessary every single day. You know, like there is no getting around it. Like otherwise you're exposed in front of billions of people. You know what I'm saying? So that discipline to wake up and go all in on your craft and go all in on the skill set that you have the ability to give back to the world who's watching, man. Like that's everything. You know, you look back, it's like 8, 9, 10, 11 hours dedicated to just the sport. And I want to take away the just. I just want to say sport. There's still school on top of it. There's so many other things going on. And we did all that for a sport. And sport is a simulation of life, and life is way more important than sport. So if you're given that much time to a skill set or a talent, then how much time do you think you should be dedicated to your own life? And that's the biggest takeaway. The second biggest takeaway is, man, you got to learn how to handle the pressure. Got to learn how to handle the pressure, man. The pressure is real. The pressure can sometimes be overbearing. The expectations to be very, very, very good and elite at all times. Man, that could drain you. That could drain you as an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old. A person who 2 or 3 years ago couldn't even drive a vehicle. You know, but you learn how to deal with that, and you learn how to use that. You learn how to use that, and I would say, man, the pressure's on in business too. The only thing is, no one is watching. You don't got people screaming. It's, hey, man, you got to hold yourself accountable. It's discipline and the pressure if you do not succeed. And those two things are good things. Those two things are necessary. And I'm constantly trying to and attempting to tune those two things up, because the better I can get at those two things, the better I can be as an individual, and the better the business is.
Absolutely, yeah, and I truly agree with you with that. In sport, in fitness, anything you do physically, it's like I'm moving this glass up the table. Like I can see a physical progression. You know what I mean? Every single day in what we're doing. You know, so I truly believe in that. It creates like a strong belief within yourself that you can rely on yourself, as you said. Like you teach yourself accountability by showing up, and then that accountability just spills into the rest of your life, you know. So man, sport is huge, you know. And I think another thing that I see you do so well, it's the aggression, you know what I mean, the fire, you know what I mean. Like I have a certain energy as well, you know. So I see when other people have that fire in their eyes, and I think it comes a little bit from that, like we're gonna win right now, guys, and you take that with you.
Let's go, man. Let's go. We only got one time. We only got one life. We only got one opportunity, one shot. What the hell are you going to do with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
So what, like, bro, what do you think? Why do you think most people aren't then? Like, what do you think is happening to these 90% of people that see everything on social media, they see the news, they see the world kind of like, what do you think they have surpassed maybe their dreams? Like they're not going for it?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, it's very hard. I would say it's very hard to move to something if you don't know the path to get there. If I didn't know where the gas station was to fill up my vehicle, how the hell could I get to the gas station? I could see a picture of a gas station. I could see a picture of people pumping gas, but I don't have the path to get there, and therefore I don't go. Yeah. I think what it is, as a matter of fact, I know more and more so now what it is the exposure to data, the exposure to information, and your surroundings. You know, everything is very limited in essence. Everything is very, man, average and mediocre as far as what we're exposed to as the human race, I feel. And there's only a certain amount of people that get that next level exposure. And that next level exposure, once you tap into that frequency and that shit's in front of you, man, it's go, 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 go. But if you've never had that and you were never exposed to that, it's very, 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 very hard to achieve it. It can be done. A ton of people do that. But man, that I feel is the reason as to why, man. How do you know about something if you don't know about something?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, because we talked about travel and that sort of thing before, I think travel is one thing, like actually getting out of your house and physically see something new. And you're like, damn, like, why am I living like that at home? That's one thing. But, what do you think could be some quick things people could do? You mentioned education, assuming, go to workshop and that sort of thing. Conferences would be a big thing. What would be some quick things people could do right now that, get them out of actually getting that exposure there?
Yeah, man. So first things first is grab a pen, grab a sheet of paper, and write down what it is that you're chasing. Write down what it is that you want the life to be. Write down what it is that you want your relationship to look like, what you want your business to be, the types of products or services that you want to push out to the marketplace, like who you want to be known for as a legacy. And then the next thing is do your due diligence and research on people that already fit that mold, people that are already doing the thing that you want to do. And then, man, study that person, study those people, study those moves, and start adopting those same principles, those same strategies into what you do on a day-to-day basis. That is literally the only way, right? Hey, if you want to learn calculus, well, then you got to read a book on calculus. So if you want to learn how to take that game to the next level, well, then you got to sync up with somebody that's already at that next level that hasn't just done it once, but has done it 25 times. Because doing once doesn't mean anything. Doing twice, okay. Once you get to 3, 4, 5, all right, that person understands the game. So that would be the first thing. And then the second thing is you see how those people act or whatever it is you're chasing, that person, whoever that person is in the future, 10, 15, 20 years, you know what they're supposed to be like. You know what they're supposed to act like. You know how they're supposed to communicate. Don't wait for the 20 years. Act like you got that thing in your bag right now and operate accordingly today. And I guarantee you these deposits will start adding up. And it's exactly what we talked about initially, right? That momentum. Now we start getting momentum. Now we start growing. And before you know it, you're going to be popping your head out of the bushes like, damn. We did something here.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? When you look at how long have you been? Because you were doing the football, and then what were you doing after football? Because I gotta ask, how is it to work for Grant? What did you do and these sort of things? But what was your shift from getting into the business world there?
Yeah, so the shift. So listen. After football, had a knee injury. Obviously, you want to do sports later on in life and continue to do them at the most elite professional level, but unfortunately had a knee injury. I'm very thankful that academics was something that was enforced in our family as well. And I went to school for biology and exercise science. And my father actually worked in open heart. And so I was always exposed to the medical space. Now I'm saying all that too, and with this, I went into orthopedic and pharmaceuticals. And I went into orthopedic and pharmaceutical sales. And man, I was in that for about 2 years. Went to number one in that organization. And the only reason why I went to number one in that organization was number one, work ethic and discipline that came from sports, that came from earlier on in life. And then number two, the training. And I was training on a guy by the name of Grant Cardone. Didn't even know it was him. I trained on a couple things as it related to follow-up. It got me to number one in that organization. And then, man, by the grace of the man above, this is all happening in Miami. One of my buddies goes over and works for him. Again, didn't know who the guy was. And they kept recruiting me. And, walked into that office, several interviews. And I was with that organization for upwards of almost 5 years. And that exposure, man, I mean, brother, you can't even,
Yeah.
if you told me MIT or that, I would rather do that because that was real practical thing.
Yeah.
That was nuts. That was
Yeah.
nuts.
It's insane, bro. Like even me, I've been thinking about fucking like, should I just take a year out of the calendar and just go there, just freaking rip your head off and just
Learn. You know what I mean?
You know,
Get
it's
exposed.
exposed. You got to have exposure. You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was a blessing. That was a blessing. Seriously.
So what was so obviously, so you worked for that company. They had some training material in place from Grant Cardone. That's how you got introduced to him, and then obviously getting in and working for him there. So yeah, talk to me about that. Like what was like the takeaways, the pressure, the obviously, working close to the whole team and these sort of things. Like just talk to me about that. How did that make you from where you were to freaking where you are right now?
Well, what it is it humbled me. You think you know how to sell. Everybody thinks they know how to sell.
Mm.
And then you get there, and I'm talking about, we had some elite people that thought they knew how to sell. And then you get there, and then you realize you don't know a damn thing about sales. And man, then you're like, oh, okay. So this is we got to take this thing to the drawing board. Like we really got to figure this thing out. Working within that organization, and I give a lot to where I'm currently at based off the exposure I had within that organization. Listen, it is no joke, y'all. Um, um, we had to train every single day on a platform. We got testing on the platform every single morning. We had to role play every single day for 30 minutes. All of our numbers, all of our stats, all of our metrics, all my dials, my talk time, my appointment stat, my demos, where my deals are at. We're constantly getting those charts in front of us on a desk on an hour by hour basis. I knew every single line as it relates to production, and I saw those lines maybe 7-8 times a day, right? The first couple of years was literally 250 to 300 phone calls every single day.
And is that cold? Is that cold, or what do you do there? Is that just banging on like opt-ins and that sort of thing? Yeah,
just cold. And I'll tell you, there were a couple years I did upwards of 35, 36, 37,000 outbound cold calls in 12 months. Bro, I've been on the phone longer than most human beings have been alive. I've been on the phone in under 12 months, bro. That's why I will take anybody on the phone or face to face because they got way more at bats than anybody, unless you get to the very, 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 very elite level. It's just it's elite level. It's how many times do you run the play? And then you look at a guy like Tom Brady who's been running the same damn play for 20 years, and bro, look at his bank account because he's perfected that thing. So that accountability was very, very high as well. We had a multitude of in-person events. I think the last year I was there, we had like 157 events in 1 year on top of what was necessary. If you don't produce, you're cut, right? Man, and you're exposed to some of the biggest players in the game. Biggest players in the game. You'll go in there, you'll see Damon John in there, and then next you'll see like the top 5 real estate investors in North America are in there in the meeting, and then next you'll see like I don't know, man, Usher. Like it's just like what are we doing? What are we doing? And you get to see how people move. The only other thing I'll say to that, because there's I could talk for years about the biggest takeaways, but what I saw that I aspire to bring into each and every single one of my days today, and it's very hard to do, is always being on. And what I mean by that is this: when you're in an office, there's always a camera around. There's always someone hovering over your back. Your metrics are on the board in front of every single person in the office at any given second of every single day. It's like Wall Street, right? It's like just a ticker. Man, you really have to be on at all times. You can never, ever, 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 ever shut off. Because if you shut off, will you lose the game? No. but it takes a whole lot of energy to turn right back on. And and I would see GC walk into the room, man, and that guy is just he's never shut off. Like the greats never shut off, man. They just don't. It doesn't matter if it's sport, doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter what it is. The most dominant individuals I've been around in sports, I've been around some top guys that are playing at the most elite levels right now, and Olympians, gold medalists. Like I've been around like some pretty big dogs as it relates to that, and then some top businessmen like Ashley Furniture, Google, Microsoft, like big executives. The one common denominator is these guys never, ever turn off. It's crazy.
And what is that?
Tap into that.
Yeah, what is that in them? Is that their energy, their presence, because obviously they're at work, they're doing the thing, they're at meeting and that sort of thing. But like, what is it that you see in them that there's never off? Like, what is that?
When I say turn off, I mean there is no. I don't want to say the word break, because obviously you gotta eat, you gotta sleep, but there's never downtime. Like, first of all, the presence is there. Obviously the presence is there. The second thing is the focus. And then the third thing is like the life and the passion, because the why is just so profound that they can't afford to shut off. And it's literally go, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, everything with intention. Like every single move you make is with intention. Every single conversation you have is with intention. Every single interview you do is with intention. Like every single thing that these people do, it matters, and there's a reason as to why. And that's what I think. When I think of the big time elite guys, I think of a light switch. It's like when you turn it off and you turn it on. Well, these guys don't got it off. It's just bright and then freaking brighter. That's it. It's crazy, man.
I love it, bro. I love it. I feel it, because it's you and I. We both have been in these states, because we do what we do, and like whatever we've done in our career, we feel it when we freaking on. Like the momentum is there, the why is there, the people are behind you. You just like let's go. But you just see with those people, it's like it must be next level. I remember I went to Miami in when was it, end of July. I actually went to the office and that sort of thing. Just showed up there, catched up with Steve Spray and these sort of things there. But I just felt it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Fucking walking outside, doing a little video. What's going on? Been following Grant Cardone for a long time, so it was good, man. It's an game, and that's what I'm like when I'm watching, for example, Grant Cardone. It's like he's just so relatable in a way to me personally. You know what I mean? There's lots of other guys that use bigger words and can smooth the conversation down and talk about the tactics and these sort of things. But the one thing that I'm getting from him is really just that, like that. As you say, that energy of freaking never being satisfied, always being on and allowing everybody else to like think bigger, So it's a huge thing.
It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's self-made, and listen, it's also, as you get bigger, these guys have a support team. They have people. Like nobody moves the Titanic by themselves. Right. Every single big individual has a massive amount of people that are on the same goal and mission and hold themselves accountable to a similar level. And when you can get around 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 people that are all working for a common goal, brother, you could take down the world. Take down the world if you want to, like seriously. That is also there, man. So if there wasn't a family,
yeah.
Right? I don't know if momentum for anybody would be where it presently is.
So how do you use that right now? Because seeing that massive momentum from that organization, obviously with Grant at the top pushing that thing up the hill. How do you see that in terms of your own business right now, like bringing people together on a common vision, on a mission, How do you actually do that in practice? How do you get people with you on a day-to-day basis? Like, what are some things that you maybe have taken with you or developed to really get people freaking under the same umbrella as you?
Totally, man. Well, the only way that everybody can be on the same page is if they're exposed to the same information. It's like a playbook, right? Like no one can, every single person, no matter if it's offense or defense, to have the same playbook on the team. So the first thing is that everybody has access to the same data, the same information, the same playbook. And we're all sourcing from that playbook on a consistent basis to make sure that everybody understands what the goal is, what the hell is the objective. Now, obviously, there are tap-ins throughout the day, as it relates to how people are thinking, right? Are they completing their tasks? Do's and don'ts, things that aren't working, things that are working, because if you're not in the ass of your people, they ain't gonna be in their own ass. They're just not. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like a pester. I don't mean like a bug that's just bugging the hell out of somebody. But I'm talking about that accountability, man. A big vision and big goal, man. You have to have a big vision and big goal because if you don't have that, no one's going to jump along for the ride. I learned that from Brandon Dawson. If your goal is to make 10 million, you tell somebody our goal is a $10 million organization. Like I'm not going to be excited about that. But if you tell me your goal is a $10 trillion valuation on the New York Stock Exchange, we're going to trade at 157 times EBITDA, right? We're going to have a footprint in every single major continent our world has to offer. And we are going to be the number one X, Y, and Z. Well, first of all, I'm thinking, well, that shit's crazy. And second of all, I'm thinking, well, if this person is talking like that, if we even accomplish half of that, I'm good. So it all starts with that vision, and then it continues with that exposure of information, to your people. I'll say this much to end on that question is I saw what it could look like. And I think that's huge. I saw what it will look like for me. And I saw how it was done. So now it's like, okay, just get there and cut 15 years out of the game. And it can be done. That's easy. But man, I saw it. All I got to do is see it, man. If I see somebody run a 4.2 in the 40, well then fuck. Let's run a 4.2 in the 40. It's the same situation, man. It's just like, I just got to see it.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. Now it's like, okay, apply.
Yeah, fuck, I love it, bro. Because it goes back to what you say, if you know where the gas station is, you know what I mean? Like, you don't doubt. You just freaking, like, it doesn't matter if it's raining or up the hill, I'm going there. Yeah.
That's it. That's the destination, So
yeah.
It's a struggle, though. It's a struggle. I mean, nothing is easy. Nothing great is easy. You have your downturns sometimes. You have your doubts sometimes. You have people that are on the same page sometimes. But we all deal with it, man. We all deal with the ups and the downs. There's a whole lot more downs than there are ups. But eventually, once the foundation has been laid and instilled, and we get to the point where that turning point is, it's going to be only upward from there. So, man, for anybody that's listening, realize the shit's hard. It ain't easy, bro. And you got to go in thinking like that, but you can't go into the game thinking that it's impossible. You just got to go into the game thinking, hey, there's going to be a point. There's going to be a point where you're going to want to break. And that point is probably going to happen 2 or 3 times each week. Do not freaking break. Do not do it. Do not do it.
Do not quit. I love the quote from him. Like, if you just don't quit, it's just impossible to fail. And if you just freaking just repeat on that one, like, you'll be good. You'll be good. So what's, moving forward right now, so then you left the organization and then going in and doing your own now. So Mike Schill's enterprise, the full circle agency, how are you taking over the world? I got to work with you guys.
Hey, well, we're taking over. We're taking over the world via marketing and advertising. The primary area of focus getting brands and businesses known, and we specialize in several things as it relates to marketing and advertising, website optimization. Paid ads, managing ads, email marketing. The list goes on and on and on. But that is what we are doing, and that is how we're giving back to businesses. I'm humbled to be able to say that we've been able to land some pretty big time contracts with companies like eBay and Lions Not Cheap and Amazing Laugh Studios. The list goes on and on and on. And the only reason as to why we were able to do that in such a short, quote unquote, period of time, because usually those things you would expect them to take 10, 15 years to get, is because of the one skill set that was developed, and that is sales. And sales is everything. And if you don't know how to do it, you got nothing. And if you do know how to do it, well, then everything else can get figured out. But you've got to know how to sell. And so that is what we're doing with the Full Circle Agency. I'm excited also. We've got a sports and entertainment division. Eventually I wanted to be the world's #1 sports and entertainment agency as it relates to big brand collaboration. We're working with a multitude of athletes. We're connecting it with brands. We're actually, humbled at this, man. I'm in a movie. I'm in a movie that starts shooting January, February, March. So that'll be good. I'm an executive producer there. We've got a show, Brickell Drive. It's here in Miami. It's the world's first ever curated platform playlist mix show. Like, we're doing a lot of stuff in the entertainment space too. I love the entertainment space. Man, just give me a mic and put me on a camera and let's rock. Like, I love that stuff. And so those two verticals, we're pushing on all cylinders, and we're just building and building and building and building.
Love it, bro. So what do you see, like, for example, for maybe some of the smaller businesses that you work with, even for yourself, how you have built that right now? Obviously, you say sales, and I'm the same, bro. It's like so many people are starting something today, you know what I mean? They like what they do over here, but they completely neglect what it's about, marketing and sales, you know what I mean? And they just don't work that muscle. So what do you see from people that, maybe got something going right now, they sell a service, they sell a product, they're posting something on social media. What are the mistakes that the smaller entrepreneurs are doing that is not getting them like to explode? Like, they're not getting them to really accelerate. What are some things you see there?
Listen, two reasons or two ways to grow exponentially as it relates to any sort of social media platform. That's through entertainment or through education. The most successful people that leverage whatever social media platform you want to talk about, whether it's Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube Shorts or YouTube Longs or whatever it is, are very entertaining while providing education. So the thing that people don't realize is that, man, if you can become the girl or the guy that everybody goes to for information on something, on a certain topic, whether it's financial services or credit repair or HVAC or solar or home restoration or even trading baseball cards, man, whatever that is, if you can become that individual, game over. Game over. So work towards that. Work towards giving back to who could potentially be following you. Listen, if you're PR for yourself, you're doing it wrong, right? It's not about you. It's about the consumer. And when you can tap into this thing and realize it, hey, it's all the better. Another thing that I would say, man, is this. For any individual that's getting started, you got to realize that the stuff that you put out there today, you may not get traction on it. And the stuff that you put out there tomorrow, you may not get traction on it. And the stuff that you put out over a year time, you may get a little bit of traction, but it's not about the result for today. It's about the result 5 years from today. I couldn't tell you, man, how many times Simon and I got on the phone with somebody, we close a deal, and the words out of their mouth were, hey, man, I've been following you for the past 5 years.
Mm.
You think I was thinking about those people 5 years ago? Hell no, I wasn't thinking about those people 5 years ago, but they were watching. So, man, make deposits every single day because you never know who's watching, and make sure that the content that you put out is beneficial to the consumer of the data, the consumer of the information, not beneficial to you. And get it out there. Listen, you and I both know this, man. Sales is everything, but so is marketing. And you can't have sales without marketing. You can't have marketing without sales. It's like, honestly, it's the same damn thing, because I look at sales as the meat and greed and fact finding and overcoming objections. It's the first 3 steps process or stages of the sales process. If someone already knows me and knows I'm good at something, well, then I don't got to go through all that BS up front. We can just get down to, hey, man, are we doing business or not? Like, what do you want to do here? And so it's heavily important. This marketing thing, this branding thing. Social media is something that needs to be used. You just gotta use it, man. You actually gotta use it. You gotta use it.
Yeah, so you basically mainly, like, I remember I went to the 2020 Growth Conference just before COVID. And I remember, in Vegas, bro. And then, like, I went to LA, and then a week after went back to Melbourne, Australia, and then boom, they shut the country down. Like, I was like, nobody talked about it in the US at that time there. But yeah, it was a sick conference. And I remember Ryan, I think it was Ryan Deister on stage. I don't know if you remember that presentation he did, where he's talked about, become the advertiser or become the entertainer. That kind of like, it without me thinking about it, because I really just went hard when I went back home, freaking live shows every day, all the content. But something in me, because the social media is just exploding, the algorithm and that sort of thing, it's like you're playing a game with a machine and an algorithm in many ways, you know what I mean? Entertainment and education. So I think that the biggest issue most people have is like, but who am I? I'm not that funny. I'm not Grant Cardone. I'm not a character yet. Like, but I love what you're saying in terms of like, it's because of the consumer. Help the consumer. And you might not have to be the freaking Grant Cardone colorful guy. You can be your person, Like, just talk to me on that, like, because I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, so you are never going to be somebody else. You can only be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can use other people as examples, but when it's also there's only one of you and one of me in this world. Right. If you find another one like me, man, tell me. That would be awesome. But I don't know if they're out there. So, man, one principle that I learned within the GC organization was that you are your own content. Like, anything that you do is content. The way you wake up, the way you go to sleep, how you train, you making calls. You going to the store, you going on a business lunch, whatever that is, like, all that stuff is content. So don't get bogged down in watching other people do them, because then you're not using the social media platforms. The social media platforms are using you. Get people to start watching you, and it's man, everybody's always like, hey, what should I post? What do I do? What do I say? And sometimes I find myself doing that same damn thing. And then I realize, bro, just post your day to day. The stuff that I get the most traction on is the stuff I think is honestly, personally, the stuff that I think is just like second nature, like cold calls. If I do a cold call and I post that thing just goes off. And I'm sitting here like, bro, that is something I've been doing for so damn long. I wish I never had to make a damn cold call again, but I know I'm always going to have to for the rest of my life. It's just because network. So man, listen, you got your own story. Show it to people, man, because your experience is a whole lot different than mine. And it's bro, it's just so important. You just got to do. You just got to do. But don't watch those guys. Like, watch them, but don't try to be them. Be yourself.
Exactly. And it goes into, like, so what is social media in the end of the day? It's connecting with people, and people connect with you because of you, and who you are. And in the end of the day, you can't lie, no matter how much freaking graphic and colors and that sort of thing you put out there. So that's one thing I'm going through myself right now as well. It's really, because I think that's maybe a guy thing for it's probably harder for guys to really spend time and sit down, open boxes, and this is what I ate today, and this is what I do, We just we're on to the next thing. We freaking come with me, let's do it, go. So it's harder to sit down and really connect in that way, you know what I mean? Without just telling people. What do they do, all those chicks, bro? They're sitting with their socks and shirts and stuff. But they love it.
They do love it, and people love it. People love it, and it's come follow me while I open up my Sephora box. I'm like, bro, I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
I don't care, but certain people do love that stuff. They do love it.
Exactly.
So, hey,
it's funny. It's funny, man.
Brother, man, I really freaking appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. We got to spend more time when I'm coming to the US. I would love to do some stuff with you guys. If not, hang out. Let's do a sprint together and these sort of things there. But
yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Totally down for that. No, I'm down. I'm down. We'll hit the track. We'll do whatever we got to do. That'd be sick. That'd be
absolutely,
awesome,
bro.
I know it's what it is now right now. I got something coming up here now as well. I know it's late for you, but I will finish on that one there right now. What would you say? You don't have to put a number on it, 1, 2, 3 or something like that, but what would you say, what is your success advice, 1, 2, 3 maybe, to a young man, mid-20s, late 20s? What's your success advice? Maybe the 1 or 2 thing that sits out for you. I know we already talked a lot about all of them.
Yeah, for a young man.
For a young man, man, in your 20s, you're looking to be successful. Okay, 2 things. I got them. The first thing, just because you're not running your own business right now and you may be working for somebody else doesn't mean you can't learn in that situation. Learn what the hell is going on. Practice on somebody else's dollars. Because it doesn't even matter. Understand departments. Understand the communication within departments. Understand the metrics that are being. Understand what the hell is actually going on and what it is you're doing. And learn anything and everything, because there's so many things that you take away to what it is you want to do, right? The second thing I would say, I'm going to say 3. The second thing is you better learn how to sell. Just freaking learn how to sell. Learn how to sell. Do sales. It is anything and everything, and I live and breathe by it. But the third thing I would say is read books. That's something that I did not do when I was a little bit younger, as it relates to business, as it relates to like selling from stage, or how to operate during the day, or what businesses should look like. And the moment I started opening up to that stuff, my thought changed. And I became a little bit more confident. I'm at my desk right now, and I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at 6 books right now on my desk. Right, the first 3 I already read. Boom. So this book, Sell More by Dave Van Hoos, awesome. The One Thing, right?
Yeah,
The One Thing by Gary Keller, great book.
What's the takeaway in that book, by the way? The One Thing. What is the concept of that?
Yeah, so the whole thing is, what is the one thing you could do at this specific second that could change the game for the rest of your life, or change the game for whatever it is? Like, if it's for the business, if it's for a relationship, if it's for whatever it is, it's just figuring out, days provide a lot of clutter. And sometimes it's hard to figure out, what should I be doing? What is the most effective thing for me to do? So this book goes deep on understanding what the most important thing is for you to do. And sometimes if you figure out what the most important thing for you to do is, you're good. You did what you had to do, right? So this book is very good, man. I actually read this on a plane ride to London, man. To London. I was going to London and I read this book there. This book, I would highly recommend that book. Love it. Awesome book.
Yes, man. All I'm hearing you talk about is really what I really truly believe in as well, you know, as the core principle, you know, like this is something I write in my journal every day, and I've done it for years right now. I'm writing down energy, character, and skills is everything. So if I can hold myself to these 3 pillars, you know, become a better character, grow as a person, I can keep my energy up every single day, you know, from a spiritual and a physical standpoint, and I can develop skills. Sales, marketing, business, people skills, communication skills, bro, like, what else do you need then?
You don't need anything else.
Exactly.
Everything you need will come. Every single thing you need will come. I love that. I love those 3 things that you just said, man. That's so strong. Yeah. So strong.
So, yeah, man. Appreciate your time today. It was amazing chatting to you. I'm learning a lot, man. That's you know, why we're doing what we're doing as well. You know, you're connecting, you're networking, you're mingling with people to learn new stuff. And if not, like you're definitely getting a shot of energy from Mike Schill. I love it,
bro. You're awesome.
Hey, man.
You're really good.
Hey, I appreciate the time, man. Appreciate the opportunity, man. This is great. We got to do this conversation again, though, man. The more we do this, the more we can grow, man. Collaboration is everything.
Yeah. And you learn, bro. You learn when you speak your own story, you speak your own little like tweaks and that sort of thing. Like I learned so much from just producing, you know. You learn by repeating what you just have learned. And what I heard you say today, it might show up in a conversation later on today with a buddy. It's just freaking dump everything in the system. Good stuff.
Hey, man. I love it, bro. I love it, man. Thanks so much, bro. This was great. This is awesome, bro.
Let's do it again. So what's your, by the way, I'm going to the boot camp in end of May, 21st, 20. So you don't have anything to do with them anymore right now? You don't do anything there, or?
No. I don't do anything with them anymore there. But I mean, January, February, March, April, May. I mean, I'll be in Miami during that time. So I mean, we can link up. We can, for sure. Maybe we can shoot some content. We can do something, man. Like, bro, just reach out. Like, I'm here. Like, we need to dominate, bro. Like, we need to. Let's do a live sometime on Instagram. Like, we just need to continue to go, bro. Like,
absolutely.
Go.
Absolutely, and cross over with things. You know what I mean? Because I'm maybe more from the personally performance standpoint. You're a lot heavier in business and these sort of things right now, you know. But when if we freaking do something together with people from the outside, it elevates the whole game because everything matters in the end of the day. Everything is connected.
Personal performance is everything. I mean, that's, if you don't got that shit down, then how the hell can you run a business, man? I look to that all the time, man. Like, what? That's everything, man. That's everything. Everything. So we'll do it. We'll chop it up. We'll get it popping, man. Like, whatever you need. Whatever you need. My brother, Falcon, let's go. I appreciate your time today, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, live it up over there in Bali. All right, man. Take care. Thank you, bro. Bye.